Hey, this is going to be another video, but how about I tell you a story? So you're just a little kid, you've never seen your dad before. Your nan has to use one of those scooters to move around because of weight problems. And your mother doesn't like you. And then, in the middle of this, you finally see your dad for the first time, but you have to see him for days. And you figure out that your dad went to jail. And then sometime later you grow more tuned that you like staying with your nans because you don't have to deal with the abuse that your mother gives you. And you go through abuse a lot to the point where you get picked up by the head and shoved into the ground. Well, basically picked up by your ears. And in the midst of this, you go ahead and through this, then you go ahead and have to live with a life where your mother basically turns your dad into a slave and gets aggro with him just because he messed one thing up. And yet, so at that point, then you get once mad with your dad, going and saying, "You don't even know my age," or some shit like that, and then hoping that he dies. Then the next day, because you went back to your nan's, you get a very weird message from your mum saying, "There is something very important I have to tell you." You go back to your mum's place, and then you get told your dad's dead. So then we go ahead. I think it's a joke because she's a bitch. I think it's a joke, and I'm said, "Funny joke, but now where's Dad?" And she says it's not a joke, he's actually dead. And then you go to the room where you see your dad's dead body. And you see two wounds. A knife wound to the upper portion here. And then you see a special type of round that didn't make a penetration, but on the bottom back of his head, you can find an ACP, a 45 ACP round. Hasn't then pierced through here from the back of his head. It didn't go through because here's the special thing about a 45 ACP. If it's fired out of a 1911, it will stop immediately in the middle of the head. And I swear to God, if they used an X-ray, they would have found a bullet at the temple. So then you're wondering, why is there a knife wound there? And then you start realizing he called out for Mum because Mum went looking for him. And because of him doing that, they stabbed him here with his own knife. And then to finish it off, they pull out a 1911 handgun and finish the job with one 45 ACP round. And then, without the full backstory, you own basically like an exotic animal, like a pig, but you don't live on a farm anymore. And then sometime later, your mum gets a dog that's meant to kill the pig. And she says, "Oh, I didn't know about this." But then you have to and you're like a person who's very light-hearted and loves every animal. Then you have to deal with 3 other things dying. Then you have to worry about a lot more things. And then you have to go through all your dad's stuff because your mum's a greedy little bitch. And she'll take anything she can get. So I've currently got a bulletproof vest underneath my bed. That is my story.